All right, today we are at ForEvergreen Nature Preserve in Monroe County, Pennsylvania, here in the Poconos. We've painted here before on the channel. One of my favorite spots that I sometimes forget about because it's so close to our house. It's about 2 miles away from our home, maybe a 10-minute drive at most, just because we have to take some curvy country back roads in order to get here. This area formerly was ForEvergreen Park Golf Course. The ForEvergreen Nature Preserve is a 42-acre property that has been returned to its wild, natural state. It's a very peaceful nature preserve, features a 1-mile loop, maybe a little bit more than a mile, but it's a loop trail through forests and meadows. You pass by Brodhead Creek and some marshlands and a pond, which I'm actually going to end up painting out here today. The smooth gravel pathways and gentle inclines make it easy, family friendly. Makes it a really nice walk if you're just looking to get a little bit of outdoor time and some exercise. I imagine you could use this as a running trail as well if you're interested in getting some miles in. As opposed to running on the road, you can drive here or jog here, take a few laps and get some miles logged. It's also very pet friendly. We quite often will see dogs walking with their families, and that's a wonderful thing too. So this is filmed in calendar year 2025. We're in the middle of fall or autumn, and this is our first sub-zero temperature. It's 31 degrees. Going to be quite cold, and I'm going to be painting with Pastel. I just took an early morning drive before sun came up, before sunrise, to drop off some oil paintings at a local show, plein air show, that's being held up at Skytop Lodge, just a little bit further up the road here in Canadensis. And I'm going to do my best just to do a sketch on some sanded paper with soft pastel. Just want to find a scene that brings some interest. It kind of catches my eye here. Right now everything looks gray and a little bit drab because the sun has yet to really come over the ridge, and there's frost on the vegetation which kind of grays everything out. So we'll walk a little bit and see what we find. So I'm thinking this might be the scene that we go for. As the sun goes up into the sky, those little touches of orange and gold in the background there that are lighting up the distant hills, that'll intensify and expand a little bit, and it'll create some interesting contrast in areas of interest. We'll be coming over that ridge there. And I think I can stay out of everybody's way here just by sitting down toward the backside of this trail. We'll also be able to capture some of the interesting reflections in the water. And we'll go ahead and get set up. I'm going to be painting sitting down on my laptop easel, which is a homemade easel specifically made for pastel painting on plein air. Simply took an old pastel box and I put some tension hinges on the box. I fastened a homemade dust catcher out of duct tape and an old Amazon box. And you'll see me set that up just so the dust doesn't fall into my pastel box as I paint. And I'll be painting on sanded paper. I think the format is 23 inches by 18 inches or thereabouts. It is really cold, so I'm blowing in my hands here, and that's going to be the struggle today. The good news is that it's a beautiful sunny day, and we have this little bit of free time before we head into work to go ahead and get some painting in. As always, I'm going to wear gloves. This will help ensure that I don't have to spend time washing my hands off afterwards. In addition to that, it helps avoid getting some of the potentially harmful chemicals into my bloodstream through my skin. That's really important. We want to take every precaution we can to ensure that we stay healthy as artists when we're working with pigments that include harsh chemicals like cadmium, for example. So we'll get set up here and then we'll get going, and I will speed up the film from a good portion of the painting session so you can see how I progress, and at the same time keep the video under 30 to 40 minutes or so, which hopefully makes it a little bit more convenient for you. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and perhaps share with a friend who might be interested in getting a better understanding as to how one can start painting on plein air with pastel. It's a wonderful experience to do so. It's very easy and convenient once you get the process down. Not a lot of cleanup. You tend to be able to get off into the woods, into the wilderness, onto the trail with a little bit of a lighter kit than you would if you're painting in a larger format with oil paints. So, and you also get those wonderful colors that you normally associate with pastels. So, hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll check back in before we wrap up the session. I'm going to start laying in some initial marks using my burnt willow charcoal. I find that this type of charcoal is much lighter and easier to erase or correct than, let's say, compressed charcoal would be. It also allows me to lay down some marks that won't interfere or spoil the intensity or saturation of the pastels themselves, because the pastel can kind of go laid in right over these light charcoal marks. Conversely, if we're using compressed charcoal, it tends to be much darker, much more difficult to erase, and it'll also end up kind of modifying the colors that you lay in with pastel as well, as it unavoidably, compressed charcoal would blend in and reduce the saturation and kind of gray it out. So that's why I'm using this type of charcoal, and it's a great way to kind of lay in some initial guidelines to indicate the shapes that you want to include in the painting on the surface that you're using, like I'm doing today. One of the benefits associated with speeding up the video for a process like this is you get to see how the light is changing very, very quickly. Those spots in the background that are lit up by the sun coming up over the ridge behind us really are expanding. And at some point in time, you just need to kind of lay down the law within the painting and decide where you're going to stop chasing the light. And I would say we've exceeded that point right now. I might go ahead and expand some of the marks on my paper to kind of align a little bit better with how the lit up trees in the background have taken shape. But I won't go much beyond that, only because it could create problems with your final painting. And it also puts you in a position where your colors might get a little bit muddy and your design or composition will be completely different than what you originally intended, which normally brings a whole slew of additional challenges. So you kind of have to snap the line at some point and decide where you're going to stop chasing the light. And from that point forward, you have to paint from memory, which is what I'm doing now with certain elements of this painting. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. I'm gonna just put some final touches, trying to suggest some detail and some highlights. Perhaps maybe some of the most intense and saturated colors will go in at this point as well, often with a light touch. If you've enjoyed this video, or if you found it helpful in any way, or perhaps maybe a little inspiring, or funny for that matter, please consider subscribing to my channel, like and subscribe, and perhaps maybe share this video with a friend who would enjoy it as well. And if you did enjoy this video, consider clicking on this video up here, because the YouTube algorithms suggest that it might be a good match for you as well. Thanks again. Stay well. Hope to see you again next time.